1.
Hey everybody, Ron Harris here, MD online editor, and the Legion Sports Fest has just wrapped up open men's bodybuilding over in Reno, Nevada. Charles Griffin, Charles the definition Griffin, very, very close race today with John Jewett. He pulled it off, got this win, got his ticket back to Olympia, where he plans to do better than 14th last year. Let's take a look at Charles today. Charles brought a heck of a package today, guys. Let's see. So he's got that trademark vacuum front double bicep, which is a really good choice for someone who structurally has a shorter waist like he has, like Kai Green had. But look at the thickness on this guy. His side shots, like I said, people were picking on his pec tear, which is on the other side, but you don't notice in this shot. Side tricep is just a knockout shot for Charles Griffin. We're going to look at him in comparison with other people in a minute, but see, he's got so much going on in this physique, the lat development, the width, legs. He had trained his legs 3 times a week while he was recuperating from what did he do? That pec tear, and I think that was in March or April. So he spent a few months really hammering his legs, and I see the improvement in them. That was my knock on Charles in the past. I just wanted to see some more quads because that upper body is so fantastic. Let's take a look now take a look at the top 3 guys. So also want to congratulate Chris Minnis and his team. As always, I've been to the show a couple times. It kind of bummed me out with my injury. I couldn't go this year, but fantastic promotion. You see the cool backdrops, production values Chris Minnis and his team put into this. Very noticeable. So here's your top 3: Justin Rodriguez, Charles Griffin, and John Jewett. John, I thought, brought tremendous condition for somebody especially who just moved up to the open and came in 12 to 14 pounds heavier than he was as a 212, winning the Atlanta Pro just a couple months ago. So he has already outgrown the 212 division, where he's placed as high as 4th at the Olympia before, and he gave Charles Griffin a hell of a fight today. Almost won his open debut. You see, condition was a little tighter even than Charles. Charles had a couple things on him. I think you see the back thickness Charles has there. John, no slouch, though. Very, very tight race. Justin, I thought if Justin had brought the condition that I've seen him in many times in the past, he probably would have been fighting for this. Justin's very capable of winning a show of this caliber. He's done it a few times in the past. I actually thought he might even place a little bit lower because condition-wise, I wanted to see some more of Justin. And I say that because I'm a big fan of his. I love the physique. Certain shots of his, like that front double bicep, just jaw-dropping. But here you see Charles Griffin really fighting for this win. I mean, he was on fire today. Great, great job. Let's take a look at what we got. I want to see John Jewett pose. Do we have that one up? Yep, there we go. So John Jewett, I'm just talking about. John in his open debut smashed it. Rarely do you see someone come in that much heavier than they were at their previous show with the same condition or better. And I think the condition is better here because with the added fullness and volume to the muscle separations now are deeper. And the condition he brings, you put those two together, it's just lights out. I mean, look at the glutes and the hams. Just cables for hams, striated glutes up and down. Look at that Christmas tree in the lower back. The guy's a professional. They were talking, Danny Hester and Wendy Fortuno, the commentators were talking about. He's a great representative. He gives out a lot of information, training, nutrition, supplementation, PEDs. Very, very cool guy. I like John a lot. Let's take a look at Justin Rodriguez, the Nightmare. Coming up next, add stage. Okay. So Justin, a couple things, if I was giving notes to Justin, would be really be careful and cognizant of that midsection. Keep it sucked in at all times. He doesn't have a bubble gut, but it bulges out a little bit when he's relaxing it. So that's something you just need to be aware of constantly. But look at the quads on him. Frontal bicep, amazing pose for Justin. Front lat spread too. So much width to the shoulders. I do think his midsection's gotten a little bit thicker over the past couple seasons. That happens to a lot of guys as they reach 40 and beyond, which I'm assuming he must be close to that if he's not 40 yet. But great bicep peaks, great quad sweep on this guy. Big fan. So let's go to the awards. Hey, Jim. So going back to the awards. We'll wrap up and we'll go to classic, guys. If I can get this. Click that. Here we go. Nope. For some reason, Jen, I cannot get the
12 show that he did a
there we
couple
go.
weeks
There we go.
ago. And now, like, he's just training the bodybuilding.
I got it.
Yeah, I got the volume off. So, yeah, just to reiterate, the top 6 here. In 6th place was Max Charles. I'm sure Max was a little disappointed. Max looked pretty good. I've seen him better, and I think that's the problem with someone who's. Oh, did they already call Max? It was Victor 6. What do I got this? Yeah, 6 was Max. Where'd he go? He's over there in the corner. Sorry. So Eric Wood in 5th place. Very impressed with Eric and his potential for the future. You see him there on the right. Beautiful structure, shape, condition was really grainy and dry. Just needs to fill out that frame a little bit more. He's going to be very, very good. Saw him at New York Pro. Very, very impressed. Bright future. We see over there next on the other side of the stage, Vitor Boff from Brazil in 4th place. He really clawed his way out because I think he was struggling in the second call out, but eventually the judges they always notice the cream rises to the top, and they picked him out and gave him some good comparisons, and he ended up in the top 4. Not bad. Victor's done pretty well this year. Started the season off, I believe, with 2nd place at the Arnold Classic South America. So then, of course, they bring top 2 together to be extra dramatic. Bob Chick always does that. John and Charles waiting on that. You see very different structures. Very different structures in these. Just John has a little more of a natural V taper, just because he's got a little longer torso. But Charles has tremendous thickness. Like I said, I honestly think both of these guys are worthy of the win. And had John won, I don't think too many people would have been overly upset. They were both looking phenomenal today. Just different looks, different types of physiques. And there you see John being very gracious there and accepting his 2nd place in his open debut is nothing to sneeze at.
Totally agree. Yeah. John and Charles very close show today, very close.
And Charles very emotional there with his win. He's really wanted to get to the Olympia. This was the last chance. This weekend was the last chance for anybody to qualify for the Olympia. We had the show over in Milan, the Olympus Pro, won by Theo Le Guerrier. So he'd punched his Olympia ticket. And then over here in the USA in Reno, Nevada, Charles Griffin nabbed the last stateside chance because we're less than 4 weeks out now. It's coming right up, guys. Superhero, congratulations, Charles. Great job. HB, come on, Ron. No way did Charles deserve to win. That pec tear was so obvious. Charles came to correct the ab and thigh pose. Joe's got it wrong with Charles. Well, I wouldn't have argued. I'm not like upset about it. It's not like he was that much. It was that pec tear. It's in the belly of the muscle. It's not as bad as I've seen some of them. And I'm not saying you should be winning shows with torn body parts, but it happens if the rest of the physique still gives a better overall package than what the judges feel anyone else is right. And that's what the judges decide. This guy says, Justin should have easily won the show. And needs to go back to AJ. Yeah, Justin is fully capable of winning a show of this caliber, which he's done several times in the past. I've been in a couple of those wins. So, yeah, if he nailed his condition, comes in nice, full, dry like he has in the past, he could have won this today for sure. He's been a top 10 Olympia guy. Jerry Randy, great for Charles. John Jay was also very impressive. Excellent showing by Charles. Boom. That pec tear doesn't take away much from this. I didn't think it was noticeable in many shots. You really only see it in front lat spread and the most muscular. You don't really notice it in the overhead when it's stretched out, like in the double bicep or the abdominal thigh. It's really not that distracting. And if it was, I'd be the first to say it because, I have no horse in this race. I have respect for all these guys. It's a hell of a job they do up there. Agreed. Ron says Aaron and Justin could have been harder. And yes, control midsection. Brian John should definitely stay in open. Kill his open can only improve from here. Personally, I think he still needs more arms and back. Yeah, I don't know. His arms are pretty good. A little more back thickness for sure would help him out. We're trying to get him to that caliber where he's going to be competitive with the very best guys at the Arnold Olympia level. That's what they all aspire to. So, but yeah, we'll never see him in the 212 again. I'll put money on it right now. Phil says Hunter's pec is way more noticeable. Cool. What do you think about the Italy show places around? Do you think the judges got it right, or you have a different opinion? I didn't watch it, so I don't want to make an opinion on that. I try to make it a practice not to comment if I wasn't watching the show today, and I wasn't. I was focusing on this and ran to the gym and ate, a bunch of times. So let's get into classic, guys, because classic was kind of a bummer for Logan Franklin, who I like Logan a lot. He's a new dad. U.S. Army vet, combat veteran. Thanks, John. Beautiful poser. One of the best posers. He won best poser at the Arnold Classic earlier this season. I feel bad because now he's going to be skipping 3 Olympias in a row because he just missed it with second place. He last time we saw him on the Olympia stage, let's see, so 2022 last year, he fell ill, I don't know, cramping. I don't know, really not sure what hell happened, but he had to pull out of the contest. So he missed 2022, 2021. He had qualified at the Sean Ray Hawaiian Classic, which was held, I believe, after the Olympia or after the qualifications were done. So he didn't go to that Olympia. So this will be 3 Olympias in a row that he's not on stage, which is a shame because he is one of the best. He deserves to be up there. One thing I will say, I love his routine, by the way. I think Logan looked flat to me. I don't want to say he looked smaller than before, but he really needs to fill this frame out because he's got beautiful shape, structure. Again, one of the greatest posers. I think Rough Diesel's the only one who has him on posing, to be honest with you, in the sport, not just this division. I'm talking open, 212, whatever, women's bodybuilding, you name it. He's very skilled. I feel for the guy because this was it. This was his last chance. And now he's got to wait till next year. Yeah. When we get to the awards, you could see it. He knew he was already posting on Facebook earlier today that he believes he got between second or third. We didn't get we'll see him in the awards, but shout out to third place guy. We'll mention him. Okay, here we go. So this was the top 4. We have Terrence Ruffin was your winner, Logan Franklin in second. New face here, which happens in Classic, Darren Sherbayer. We were calling him Ponytail Boy, me and Jen, until we knew his name. Comes to us all the way from Kazakhstan in the former USSR, home of the fictional character Borat. Darren, man, very, very impressive. Like I said, this division, every 2 or 3 shows, I usually see a standout, someone that's going to go far, someone has great potential. I've never seen him. Gentleman on your left, special mention, Kellen Wilson. Look at that. Look at the tiny waist, flaring lats from the front, quad sweep. This is another guy to keep an eye on. Plenty of size. A little better condition probably would help him. But Terrence Ruffin, he just nailed it today. Terrence had just won the Dubai Pro 2 weekends ago and did not need to do this show. But you know what? I don't, as much as I like Logan and I feel bad that Terrence took his qualification away, it's every man for himself out there. And these guys never know when their career is going to end. It could end tomorrow with some catastrophic injury, God forbid. You got to make the money while you can. You got to do as well as you can. So I'm glad to see Terrence doing more than one show and then just the Olympia. Obviously the fans love to see them live and in person more than once a year. So he gave them what he wanted. I'm trying to figure out if he looks bigger. I do believe he looks a little fuller to me because Terrence benefited an extra 7 pounds from the new increases that the IFBB Pro League instituted about 6 weeks ago, I think it was, for the Classic Physique division. You definitely see with him. So here's his routine. As always, spellbinding. I should have Shazammed it, but I couldn't place the song or the music, but he's just a master of his craft. I really feel like if anyone wants to learn how to be a great Classic Physique poser, this is one of the guys you have to study him. You have to study him. Urs Kalachinsky. Logan is also very, very good. Brian, great poser. Classic's got such better posers than Open by and large, because I do believe presentation carries more weight in Classic because they're trying to showcase, this living piece of art, this thing of beauty. And you see how Terrence, there's no wasted movement from every angle, every second he's up there. It's all planned out and plotted to perfection. He's practiced this routine, I bet, 500 times. Nothing's out of place. His toe might have slipped there like a millimeter. He'll probably be criticizing himself for that later. But man, he looked fantastic. So let's go to the awards here. And we'll take some of your questions and comments. So you see there, Logan gracious in defeat. I'm not a great lip reader, but I think right before they announced it, it looked like he had leaned over and said, "You got this," something to that effect. He was congratulating him before he had been announced winner. I would never go into a show like this and say to someone of Logan's caliber, you can't beat, because I've seen many great champions get beat in the past. if they come in off their game. And, there's no shame in losing to Terrence Ruffin. This is a guy who was second only to Chris Bumstead 2 years in a row at the Olympia. He's got 2 Arnold Classic titles. He can now be 187 instead of 180 pounds. 7 pounds of muscle is a lot, guys. That is significant. Very, very significant. So I think we'll go back to open awards while we start to take some questions. We'll go to the judging. People love to look at the judging. Sorry, dry mouth here, guys. Hit the stage. Okay, so okay. Go to your questions and comments a little bit here, guys. Hang on. Thanks, Ryan, for all you do, Rich B. You're very welcome, Rich. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate all you guys who watch these. We really do. Ruffin was lights out again. Yeah, Ruffin's, he's so damn good. He's so damn good. Terrence is great. Granddaddy of them all. Logan needs to get a coach and stop self-coaching. It's obviously not working. I mean, it would appear so. I thought he looked better in Texas than he did today. It looked like he's depleted a little bit more. Like maybe he was pushing too hard for condition. That's an area where a coach really can help you because, when you're the athlete, it's very hard to look in the mirror and be objective with what you're seeing. And, especially if you're pushing for condition, it's easy to start going flat and actually start losing muscle. But a good coach will see that process, see that happening, and stop it before it's too late, before the damage is done. There's no turning back. Terrence posing reminds me of Bob Paris. Yeah, I was trying to think of the best posers of all time. And I was thinking of guys like, obviously, Ed Corney back in the day, Frank Zane, Lita Brada, Barry DeMay was great, Bob Paris. I remember seeing some Roy Liedlemeyers, Francis Benfato, really great poser. We've had some really excellent masters of the craft over the years. Charles Pecter is bad. See, some people, it bothers some people a lot more than others. Who won men's physique? I'm sorry, I don't know, but Carlos, because we went live with this before men's physique was on, because otherwise I would have to wait for 2 more divisions. Okay, Rodolfo's saying it a little more brashly or bluntly than I would say. Logan is still small. Logan, he needs to fill out. He does. He needs to be bigger. I don't know what the limit is for his height, the weight limit, but I'm guessing he's probably about 10 pounds under it right now, because I could see him doing so much better with 10 more pounds. We'll put Charles Griffin up again. We're going to put the open winner back up again. We're taking your questions. So, Charles won like I thought. Aside from midsection, he looked the best. Yeah. See, there's the pec. You can see the pec tear there. It's noticeable. It doesn't destroy his physique for me. I wish it wasn't there, of course. I'd like to see a full pec without a big dent in it. We all would, but it's tough. Why am I surprised 20 open men's only? Oh, really? Is that right? You sure about that, Carlos? I'm not so sure about that. I would have to look at the website. If you go to centerpodium.com, there are links to this show with all kinds of information, the prize money and that. You can get the live stream. Obviously, it's over now, mostly over, but they have packages where you can get replays of all the past Legion Fest for a very low price. A couple of years ago, you can watch that one where Sean Clarita won. He beat out Regan Grimes and Sergio Oliva Jr. That was quite an upset that night. Pretty sure Aaron Banks easily won men's physique. Yeah, I mean, there was someone else in men's physique. There was someone else who was at that level. Someone who was one of the very top guys. I can't remember who it was. Terrence posed like Muhammad Makawe. Yeah, another great poser. Muhammad was about 5'3", about 150, 60 pounds. Came out of Canada, I believe. He was originally from Egypt. I think he was living in Canada for most of his competitive career. But wow, he was a great poser, and he won a lot of shows. He beat Lee Haney. Lee Haney's first year as a pro in 1983. Beat him at like 3 different Grand Prix shows. Men's physique is 30 bands. Is that a monetary unit? 30,000. Now they're getting 30,000. I don't know about that guy. Oh, Alpha Lead. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, if some of the company stepped up and filled in for it, sure. Because I know at the Texas Pro, Freddie and Sheila at the last minute, they upped the prize money for Men's Open to match what Sarah Villegas had upped the prize money to for women's physique. Because I think if they hadn't done that, the women's physique would have gotten $20,000 for first prize, and men's open bodybuilding would have got 10. So they fixed that at the last minute. They came up with 10 grand. Chiron Holden, that's what I was thinking of. Chiron's very, very good. Obviously Lee's the Olympia champion, but Chiron, he's no slouch. Thanks, Ron, Neil San. Okay, so I think we got it, guys, because I have to be up early tomorrow to talk to Dr. T over in Las Vegas. And yeah, thanks to Christian Guzman. So just to reiterate your placings before we say goodbyes and good night. In Classic Physique, we had Terrence Ruffin in first, Logan Franklin in second, Darren Shurbayev in third, Kellen Wilson in fourth, Jorge Herrera in fifth, and Yosef, it sounded like Calamine. He was not Calamine. Yosef, he was not on the list because he turned pro at the amateur pro qualifier the day before. So I don't know how to pronounce or say his name. Okay, men's open. That was Charles Griffin. Charles Griffin winning and getting the Olympic qualification. Second place, John Jewett in his open debut. Third place, Justin Rodriguez. Fourth place, Vitor Bott from Brazil. Fifth place, Eric Wood. And rounding out the top six, Max Charles, who was just second place at the Masters Olympia a few weeks back. So good season for Max overall. So that's it, guys. Appreciate you watching. And of course, we're going to be doing a lot of coverage, live coverage from the Olympia weekend. I know it's a few weeks away, but it's never too early to start getting excited. I'm going to be on site with Jose Raymond. Very excited to give you guys some really awesome interviews, some wrap-ups, all kinds of stuff. You never know what's going to happen. We'll have a good time. So check out the channel. Subscribe if you're not already. Like the video if you like it. Share it on your social media platforms if you really like it. We appreciate it. And that's, of course, it for the 2023 Legion Sports Fest. Congratulations to all the winners of all the divisions. And we'll see them next, little less than 4 weeks' time, Orlando, Florida, on the Olympia stage. So that's it. Have an awesome night, guys, wherever you are. Maybe it's already morning. And we'll see you right here next time. Peace.